I was not educated until I studied. I was one of those girls, no carbs, no intermittent fasting every day, like silly, basically, before I actually studied it. When you are stressed, there are hormones in your body that cannot synthesize properly, basically. That's the hunger hormone versus the I am full hormone. So then you're just always hungry, you're never full, you just keep, you're tired. Okay. If you eat at 80% full, you decrease your appetite by 20% daily. There are a lot of tricks, how to trick your brain, like volume eating, colorful eating, delaying meals. Like don't have breakfast as soon as you wake up. Don't fast, but don't have it as soon as you wake up to shorten the gap till lunch. Long-term intermittent fasting tends to slow down your metabolism. Actually causes weight gain, hormonal imbalance, there are so many, hair loss,
in fact,
skin
now
problems.
A lot of literature is coming out and research because there was this boom about intermittent fasting and now we're getting a lot of documents and research against it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, but you need to know how to do it. Wake up, down a big glass of water and realize like you're not hungry, you're just dehydrated.
Jiena Klera Ġusordwi, naħdem fuq it-televiżjoni u anke fil-medja soċjali. Passjoni kbira l-fitness u dak kollu li jista' jgħinna biex inħossuna tajbin mentalment u fiżikament. Dak kollu li nitgħallem, nirriċerka u nistaqsi ser inkun qed niddiskutih ma' professjonisti u nies b'esperjenzi li ser jagħtuna għodda li nistgħu nużaw biex ngħixu ħajjitna bl-aħjar mod possibbli. Nilqakom għal podcast ieħor Reboot. Min inaqat magħna llum nilqawkom għal din sensiela twila, issa bdejna nippostjaw diversi podcasts imma kollha għandhom x'jaqsmu mas-saħħa tagħna, mas-saħħa fiżika, mas-saħħa mentali, qed niftu ħafna fuq is-suġġetti, qed insiru nafu ħafna iktar nies, imma ovvjament wieħed mill-iktar suġġetti favoriti huwa dejjem meta nitkellmu fuq in-nutrition, fuq il-fitness, għaliex fl-aħħar mill-aħħar kulħadd irid iħossu aħjar u iktar b'saħħtu. U dak kull għandu dan il-podcast illi kemm nistgħu nitkellmu ma' nies, ma' professjonisti u nisimgħu esperjenzi li nistgħu naqsmu flimkien u minnhom nieħdu kuraġġ. Aħna dejjem inħeġġukom biex jekk irrobkom dan il-podcast taqsmuh, forsi tibatuh il xi ħadd li taħsbu il ħajbenefika minnu u tistgħu tidħlu wkoll fuq is-social media channels tagħna, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, SoundCloud, kull imkien qegħdin. Ġifieri dan il-podcast tistgħu tisimgħu meta tridu. Illum bi pjaċir kbir miegħi għandi l-Faye Zammit, 20 sena żeffina, background solidu fil-ballet u jazz. Illum certified nutrition coach u weight management coach u fitness instructor. Faye tagħmel xogħol passjoni kbira għax tajt illi lila jgħinha mentalment barra li fiżikament ukoll. Thank you, Faye, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Jiena nammirak ħafna u sirna nafu l-xurxin l-ewwel online. Għax dejn nifollowjak online, joġobna ħafna dak li tippostja fuq Instagram fuq vera naraħ inspiring, nieħu idejat minnhom, Faye tagħmel workouts vera interessanti wkoll u vera tajbin li tista' tagħmel, jiġifieri u jien nieħu pjaċir li nippromovu dawn l-affarijiet għax l-aħħar mill-aħħar il-messaġġ bekk jasal u bekk x'għamel kuraġġ lin-nies. Imma l-ewwel għajdi daqsxejn għandi kurżità kbira kif misfin u mbagħad biss tal-isport u għall-karriera li qed tagħmel issa.
So basically I was dancing from the age of 3 years old, ballet and jazz. I was going to Yada with Felix and Justin, and literally from the age of 3, I had after-school activities constantly, basically. So I was never at school and go home on the sofa. So I danced for 20 years, got my diploma in dance. It was amazing. I loved all the shows. It was like, it takes a lot of dedication, basically. There was like shows twice a year. I mean, 4 times a week after school, we had classes, sometimes it would be back-to-back ballet straight to jazz. I'll get home at 9 p.m., have to do my homework, have to, so I think it gave me, my dedication came from there, basically, from a young age. And then eventually I got my diploma and I said, okay, time for a change, I felt it wasn't as like challenging in a way anymore, even though I loved it. And I said, okay, I went traveling for a few months and then I came back and I said, okay, I feel like my time is up, time to move on,
Okay.
So I ended up getting into fitness Started just doing a few classes here and there, got into Pilates, was like still every day after work, doing something basically. And then I just started like getting really into functional training, a lot of like classes, and realizing, okay, like I'm getting a real high on this. I'm really enjoying it. And then I just basically took the plunge. A few girls actually started asking me to train them during COVID. And I was like, okay, is this opening into something? I was still, I was in real estate, so it was something totally different. I never imagined myself full time. And I said, okay, we'll do a few sessions, but I'm not qualified, So they were my friends, we're just training them. And then COVID hit and I said, you know what, like I had more time on my hands. I was training more because it was either that or sitting on the sofa and like eating all day and, being bored. Got really into it and I did my course basically, Studied online, did all the coursework online, and then it's a foreign institute, EPTI basically. And they go to different countries around Europe, and then I did my exams here. And
and now you're shifting totally. As I see transformation photos on your feed, which are really inspiring. Għalek, xtaqtek tiġi fil-fat. Inti, barra li ħanibdew isa fuq ix-xogħol tiegħek, inti tagħmel sports inti wkoll. X'inhu l-favorit tiegħek?
I like a mix of functional training and I love my running. I'm very into running, so I was never a runner. I literally couldn't run even 2 kilometers. I used to have a big social life, drinking, as in, going out, having fun, I was still young. So obviously my weeks, I was exhausted. And I started this running club like 4 years ago. We just started like running along the front, building it up slowly. And I got really into it. I don't know. I find it so therapeutic. It just, I love it,
free.
Literally.
Jien free meta niġri.
Literally, And I like choosing, I change my routes all the time. Like Valley Views or Slimmer France by the sea, depends. Sometimes music, sometimes no music, podcast.
Eżatt. Issa, inti nimmaġina li dejjem kont aware ta' nutrition tiegħek minħabba li kont ballerina, ġifieri. Immissa inti qed tmexxi n-nies. Kieku kelli ngħidlek l-importanza tan-nutrition u l-importanza tal-exercise.
So they go hand in hand. Food is fuel. Without good nutrition, obviously, you're not going to have enough energy to function, to move, to concentrate. Your gut has a second brain in itself. Your gut is connected to the brain. So if your gut is unhappy, you're totally going to be unhappy, undernourished, moody. So I was always into clean eating and healthy eating, but I was not educated until I studied. I was one of those girls, no carbs, no intermittent fasting every day, like silly, basically, before I actually studied it. And I used to skip my carbs, and then I used to be like, but I don't know what's going on. I can't lose weight, or, And then weekend comes, because I deprived so much in the week. I would overdo it on the weekend. It's Sunday, time to binge. Yeah, that deficit you earn in a whole week is out of the window in one day. And then basically when I studied, yes, food is science, food is fuel. It's like a car, without fuel. It's not going to move if you don't give it petrol. Your body, if you're not feeding it well, how can you keep expecting to move and function properly and flow? Cortisol levels shoot up if you don't eat well. The stress hormone, and when you are stressed, there are hormones in your body that cannot synthesize properly. Basically, that's the hunger hormone versus the I am full hormone. So then you're just always hungry, you're never full, you just keep, you're tired.
Vera t-new pieċir li għettajda li anka specialment issa li ġej s-sajf, edin fil-sajf, kulħadd jidħol għal dawn il-fed diets.
Literally.
Li they starve themselves. Umbat, they learn it at their own expense li inti, you'll put on even more weight than before.
Literally. It's not, look, all these no diet is sustainable. Number one, you cannot deprive from anything. Your body needs a variety of everything. Fruit, veg, your protein, your fats. Besides the saturated fats, the unhealthy processed foods, those are eliminated, yes. But these diets like keto, where you eliminate carbs is your main source of energy. If you're not getting enough carbs in, you cannot function. Your brain depends on glucose, your brain cannot function. You're cloudy, you're tired, Also, if you don't eat enough carbs, you start burning your protein for fuel, which you don't want.
Exactly.
And this is where protein is the only macronutrient that feeds your muscle, right? And we need muscle mass. I'm not saying bulk, but we do need muscle mass because muscle speeds up BMR. Without speeding up your BMR, by under-eating, you're slowing down your BMR. And long-term, like short-term, yes, great results, fantastic. 2 weeks, I lost 6 kilos, amazing. As soon as you stop it, you put it back on.
Exactly.
Also, carbs is water weight. So what people lose when they cut out carbs is just pure water. It's not fat.
I'm really glad that you're explaining it really well. U vera tajba, ma vera importanti li najdu isma biex tonqos mhux ħadd ikol inqas u ħadd bagħad il-ġuħ.
No, it's science. Look, calorie expenditure versus calorie intake, right? You just need to intake less and burn more than you're putting in your mouth. It's simple. If you keep stuffing your body and you're burning less, you're just going to store it as fat. Your body, your stomach, first of all, is a muscle. It will keep expanding. So my motto is eat at 80% full. Never eat more. If you eat at 80% full, you decrease your appetite by 20% daily.
Wow, how
if you
interesting.
eat at 100% fullness every day, your stomach is a muscle, it can expand, it grows, and you'll increase your appetite by 1% every day.
So you have to learn when to stop.
Exactly. Eating healthy is a lot of willpower. There are a lot of tricks, how to trick your brain, like volume eating, colorful eating, delaying meals. Like don't have breakfast as soon as you wake up. Don't fast, but don't have it as soon as you wake up to shorten the gap till lunch.
Okay.
So that shortens snacking brackets,
Exactly.
Give your body at least 3 to 4 hours break. Even lunch, don't have it 12. Delay it. If you're hungry, have half and then maybe reopen it a bit later to leave less room for snacks in the afternoon. It's all about these tricks,
How good, Isra. And what if you decide to eat in the beginning of the day and stop eating at 5, 6? Would it work the same or no?
So doing that is fine as long as you're not hitting the fasting state.
Oh, fantastic.
Because then if you're eating at 5 and your next meal is 9 a.m. the next day, then you hit fasting state, right? So fasting state doesn't matter throughout the whole 24 hours in the day. You choose when to do it. Now, intermittent fasting does have good effects. It does get down your sugar levels. It does help cleanse all your stores of the night before and give your digestive system a break. But long term of intermittent fasting, especially on women, women should not do more than 12 hours. Long term intermittent fasting tends to slow down your metabolism. It actually causes weight gain. Hormonal imbalance, there are so many, hair loss,
in fact,
skin
now
problems.
a lot of literature is coming out and research because there was this boom about intermittent fasting and now we're getting a lot of documents and research against it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, but you need to know how to do it. You cannot do it daily. Women, as I told you, ideally 12 hours, not more because of hormones. And also, if you're not feeding your body as frequently, your body does tend to get lazy in terms of breaking down food. Your body, the second you feed it after a long fast, is so deprived and scared, Claire didn't feed me hours ago, I better hold on to it rather than burn it as energy. So you end up storing that food as fat. So you're eating, but you're not getting fuel from your food, and it's just storing as fat instead of burning it off as calorie.
Wow.
So
amazing. And this is a tailored program for different forms and sizes and age.
Yes, you have to consider, for example, women through menopause, basically estrogen levels drop in menopause, and because of this sudden drop, we get belly fat basically, whereas younger girls get more fat deposits around the hips and bum area. So I get many menopausal women telling me, Faye, this stubborn stomach, how can I? And yes, it takes longer, but then again, I go through their current eating habits and it's always carbs, because carbs is quick energy, I don't eat breakfast, it makes me sick in the morning. I was like, okay, but breakfast controls your sugar levels, if you're having your healthy fats in the morning or protein. if you're skipping your breakfast, you're spiking your sugar levels by like your next meal you're having, basically, and then you're just constantly crashing, you know. So you need to give a good flow of calories throughout the day, evenly.
Kieku kellek tajt kemm ilek tagħmel dan ix-xogħol, li l-iktar parti diffiċli għal persuna biex tibda? Dan il-podcast ma kienx ikun possibbli mingħajr.
Wellbe's loyalty scheme. Spend €50 and receive €3 cashback or 400 bonus points. Spend €100 and choose between €7 cashback, 1,000 bonus points, 3 packets of water, or 5 bottles of soft drinks. Double points when purchasing Carrefour products. Download our loyalty app and redeem your points for vouchers and cashback. Find more price drops at Wellbe's supermarket.
Red Mar, frott il-baħar b'toma unika għal kull staġun, f'kontenituri faċli biex jinfetħu. Red Mar, frott il-baħar ta' kwalità superjuri għal kulħadd. Variety is the spice of life. When it comes to cheese, we're all after quality, taste and variety. If it's cheese, it's Fior di Vita.
Why believe the hype when you can taste it? The Pepsi Taste Challenge is making its way to Malta. But can your taste buds handle it? There's only one way to find out. Take 2 sips from 2 mystery cups and tell us which one tastes better for you. Take the challenge and follow your taste.
The Kolyosh Greek yogurt has a natural, gentle and creamy taste. It is a high-protein, refreshing snack. Kolyosh Authentic Greek Yogurt. Baroness is a low in fat, lactose free cheese, which is rich in calcium and natural milk protein. Baroness is made from Austrian pasteurized milk. Keeping you healthy, Baroness.
Gulon, a selection of sugar-free biscuits.
So I get my clients, they walk in, okay, like they start telling me, because, you know, and then they show me photos how they wear, and they tell me, this is how I was, this is how I want to become. And then I go through their eating habits, and their main, when they leave, they are very overwhelmed. Because they say, Madonna, like, and I wouldn't know, but I sense them, and I tell them, guys, don't worry, like today you're going to feel overwhelmed, but every day I'm going to give you like tips to follow, and before you know it, a week would pass and you learned how to build a balanced plate and lead a good lifestyle. Then on the last day, they come back to me and they say, if only, you know, that first day I came to you, they're like, I said, no way, this program's not going to work for me. It's just another like, you know, diet and... And so I think the first few days, I'd say the first 3 to 5 days, because then after, the body's amazing. The body adjusts straight away. The body reacts immediately. Whether you feed it a lot of sugar, it's going to react badly straight away. But if you feed it well, it's going to react straight away too. So on day 3, I'm already getting, my tummy went down, my bloatedness went. I'm like, yes, guys, your body reacts very quickly, you know. So then on day 4, 5, the motivation I start feeling, I start getting the selfies, I start getting the, I'm out at the gym, and oh my God, I wore a sports bra at the gym. I would never wear a sports bra at the gym, you know, I'm always covered. But yes, I mean, that's where my coaching comes in, especially the first week I feel is more mental coaching than actual nutrition.
Okay.
And then I start with the tips and more the scientific tips after like week 1, basically.
Kiku, naħseb kellek nisek ukoll, qed jismana xi ħadd illi ilu ħajibda, imma ma jafx minn fejn ħajaqbad jibda. Sometimes enough people follow us and they get overwhelmed. Jiena qatt ma ħankun hemmhekk, pereżempju. But if you had fekk at the top of your head, tajdilhom isma' try, I always say a walk, per eżempju, but you can guide us better.
I always look, regarding to nutrition, I always start like, go, like fill up your fridge. Make sure your fridge has enough to build a basic meal. And a basic plate should be literally your protein, most important. And protein is not just chickpeas. Protein is not just 1 egg. 1 egg is 6 grams protein. You need at least 30 grams protein per meal. So when I get a plate, where's your protein? I had some chickpeas in there. No, guys, you need 2 cans of chickpeas to fill that protein. So I make sure, can you build your own plate if you open your fridge or like your drawers, basically? So protein, whether it's fish, animal protein, ideally is better because it's a complete protein, but we go about vegetarians and vegans, it's fine. You just need to pair a bit more proteins rather than have one simple one. And veggies, make sure you have at least 5 colors in your plate, in your fridge. Enough ingredients to build a salad. And then always that complex carb, you know, just that grains, basically, the quinoa, the rice, potato. But one thing I tell someone who's just starting, do not go stone cold turkey. You cannot just flip upside down overnight, you know. I mean, it is a lot. If you're like a sugar addict, if you're into junk food, you cannot, it's a drug. You cannot just suddenly, you know, switch. You just need to build it up slowly. I follow an 80-20 rule. 80% on track, 20 letting go. Now the 80% should, or 100%, I get 100% Monday to Friday, right? Then the weekend comes and you say, I was so good last week, I'm gonna, you know, I deserve this. No, I rather you give in a few naughties during the week and spread them out evenly enough. If your family's ordering pizza, have a slice. Don't say, no pizza. Or if you want a chocolate, have it. Track it, put it in your diary. If we're in a calorie deficit, you have to track. And then move forward. And the next day comes and you didn't deprive so much and we just pick ourselves back up, you know.
Exactly. Għax inti calories you can take over a week.
Exactly.
Not daily.
That's another thing. Many people think, I was in a deficit today, and then the weekend comes, you had your glass of wine, you went out 3 times a week, a lot of hidden oils in there, butters, and that deficit's out of the window. So you have to think it's a Monday to Friday.
Eżatt, jiena per eżempju, jiena have a sweet tooth. U meta nkun, I prefer not eating and making something sweet.
With peanut butter.
Eżatt, u peanut butter. You know, my favorite meal of the day is breakfast the oats with peanut butter. I just take a bit, tax qabel kont nieħu hekk, imma insomma that's my favorite, so that's why I wake up really well in the morning. Imma that's my biggest struggle. So when I want to tipo meta nintelaq ftit u nibda ngħid qed neserġela, insajjar cake normali, u ninduna kemm fih sugars u kemm fih butters u niġi ftiqaj.
Oh, wait, and you stay away, you manage.
I manage to stay away. Għax imbagħad ninduna bi kif sajjartu.
And this is why studies show tracking diaries keeps you 90% on track. Literally, if I see I make them get my FitnessPal, the app, I make them track, I monitor them, I have them all as my friends, I monitor the diaries every day.
My God.
And if I see someone silent, they're going to laugh, anyone hearing this podcast, because I'm being called fairy. I have a little, they keep me around the house with fairy. Anyway, but if I see they're silent for 2 days, I tell them, oh, like, what's, you know, and then they start, like, I'm feeling a bit bloated. Of course, did you track? Literally, you know, did you drink your water?
And when you track, you have to be really attentive. Sometimes, per eżempju, jgħidu li ma xorta qed nitlam, bat ngħidilhom per eżempju, kieku kellek tgħid li jien ma nagħtix pariri, imma ġieli tkun qed titkellem ma' ħbieb. Imbagħad it-tfal kielu, iċ-chicken.
And I picked mhux hekk, exactly. And
you get up.
You end up eating 400 calories just worth of snacks before dinner came. You know? So, I mean, there are a few tips to go about that. Keep your diary next to you. If need be, have a sugar-free chewing gum to keep you away from temptation. I tell them when you get an attack, like a binge attack, just escape the situation, go on a walk. Literally. Walking, movement, especially after eating, brings down sugar levels. So it helps digestion, it takes away those sugar cravings, and it just, you know, helps you feel good overall.
U għandhom tricks kif qed issemminti, per eżempju, jien kont imbagħad biex nixrob l-ilma. Allura ngħid qabel kull meal.
You bought the big bottle like everyone.
Waħda, jew inkella taf x'nagħmel ukoll qabel kull meal nieħu tazza.
Exactly.
Biex ngħid, għax issa ġejja saħħa sabiħa. You know, habit stacking. Tipo, I know something nice is coming, so I'll take that and get it over and done with. You feel it a little bit fuller.
Yes. And I mean, even fasting in the morning, I have many girls telling me, I woke up starving. First of all, depends what you had the night before. If you ate late, it's just your sugar levels playing up from the night before. Second, in your sleep, you lose around 1 liter of water. So I tell them, wake up, down a big glass of water, and realize, like, you're not hungry, you're just dehydrated, basically.
Exactly.
But it's funny, water, I find 80% of my clients struggle with water more than with their food. It's crazy.
Yes, għalek ġviri dik bdejta tajt qabel ma nieħu xi ħaġa dejjem nieħu tazzilma ħalli you get 6 glasses in tipo automatically.
And your meal will be a bit smaller because you mistake that hunger for dehydration. So
you taf x'inhi sometimes ma nafx naħseb anke inti you struggle with it as in your client. Sometimes we eat for boredom.
Yes, boredom, emotional eating.
Nkun qed naħdem ikollok abtit xi ħaġa pereżempju taf kif.
So, yeah, in fact, in COVID, when I was studying and like, it was just, you're sitting home all day, the streets are empty, you know. I used to get up and go for walks every hour, even if it was just a 10-minute walk. A 10-minute walk, because that's another thing you need to work on, your steps daily, right? I tell clients like aim around 8,000 to 10,000 steps minimum a day, excluding exercise. So not a run would have counted as steps, but if you went to the gym, they tell me those are my steps. No, steps is not exercise. It's just creating more thermogenesis in the day, creating more heat, burning more calories. It's not exercise. So I used to just get up, go for a 10-minute walk every like hour. Just when I used to find myself going to the like fridge for a snack, it's like, no, this is just boredom. Now go for a walk.
Fantastic.
Come back and you do another hour and you're fine. It's gone.
Fantastic.
You know, it's just a 10-minute walk is around 1,200 steps. If you do like a 20-minute walk 3 times in a day, you got nearly 6,000 steps in, you know.
Fantastic. Di kamilta niftakar, taf kif qabbi jgħidu lek qabel ma tmur cruise, u jien kont nibża, kan ngħidha mina cruise qatt ma rid imur, għax kulħadd kien jiġini jgħidli nitla' 5 kilos.
All you can eat.
Kelli phobia, imma really and truly it doesn't happen. If you're conscious, jina, all right, tmur holiday u tikol
I have a trick about that.
Is-sajdin.
Yes.
Imma jien meta mort mill-esperjenza tiegħi li għamilna mxejna ħafna, xorta bbażajt fuq fish u vegetables, if ma jkunux imsajrin kif insajru għam aħna d-dar. Imma ħejjina ma nintelaqx għax ngħid I'm totally saqida holiday, minix kapaċi, fin? And what's the reality? What should we do?
So first of all, my trick is don't make your holiday about food. Because this is such a mentality. Like you're planning your holiday, the first thing we do, let's book these restaurants. Yes, amazing. Look, I love my food, you know, 100%. But do not make it about your food. Don't book 2 restaurants a day. You don't... for example, if you're having a restaurant that's based on pasta, make sure your holiday, that's your pasta dish.
Proset.
Not because pasta makes you fat, carbs do not make you fat, but the sauces in those pastas when you're out, unfortunately, aren't like a pasta dish we make at home. Secondly, ideally, if you book your hotel not including the buffet breakfast, it will lower temptation. If you can resist, go for it. I always tell clients, avoid everything. I tell them, walk around, enjoy, look at everything. Tell yourself, tomorrow I'll treat myself, but fight it for that first day. Studies show when you do that, the last day comes and you would not have given in, because every day you say, wow, I'm going to do it tomorrow, then you feel good you overcame it yesterday. So the way, let me push it another day. Then on the last day, you're like, I did all holiday not touching it, that croissant, those pancakes, why am I going to do it now? And you won't do it.
How good.
You know, and I mean, walking around everywhere is super important. You know, I tell them, don't get a taxi, you're abroad. You know, gyms, I like basing my holidays around, not basing my holidays, sorry. As soon as I book my hotel, the first thing I do, I look for, exactly, there's class pass, most countries have, so I get the whole like class pass Ds. And I love it. I mean, went to Paris, went to this class once, and we couldn't understand the word. I mean, he was speaking in French, and it was like a Barry's, but in Paris, suddenly we're on the treadmill, we see everyone on the floor. We're like, what's going on? You know, but it's fun. It's so... Don't base your holiday about food, basically.
Le, eżattu, u laqas naqbel ukoll jisma' s'issa mort holiday u bat hemm din il-mentalità wkoll li ġieli. Ngħidu you slip in the beginning of the day u mbagħad tajt issa la slipped.
That's it.
Daqshekk nitlaq. Darba kont smajt din u vera bajt niftakara. Xi ħadd kien qal. Imagine you have a puncture in your car. Tajtu hija Melissa għandi puncture.
It's true.
And if you
that's a good one.
Taħseb hekk.
I'm going to use that for my...
Mela, eżatt, mela, why not?
I always tell my clients, well, anyone I'm speaking to, if you gave in to this piece of cake, it's fine. we move on from it, it's life, you're meant to enjoy it, you're just delayed by that piece of cake.
Proset.
You know, it's no big deal. If that cake was 400 calories, we're delayed by 400 calories. Tomorrow, if need be, we go halfer in lunch, a bit lighter in dinner, and those 400. Or, rather than depriving with food, get more steps in, do a good workout, and your calories burnt, your cake's burnt off.
One last question, għax ħatlek rasek. Obsessing on the scale.
Oh, God. This is a good topic. So, scale weight. Scale weight has too many factors to consider. Measurements are way more important than scale weight. So scale weight doesn't consider if you drank more than usual the day before. So you have volume of water. If you ate more than usual the day before, volume of food. If you didn't fully digest your food, you didn't fully break it down yet, so the scales are going to be heavier. If it's warmer, you're going to sweat more, so scale weight will be lighter. Colder days, you retain water to keep warm, so scale weight is heavier. Hormones, time of the month, there's so many factors. Don't get me started on scale weight. We do want the numbers to go down, but they're just a number. I have people who lose 2 kilos, but then they lose 10 centimeters of their waist. What are you more happy with? A dress size or a number on the scale, you know?
And if you're training weights, I mean...
You inflame, exactly. Muscle is 3 times heavier than fat, so your scale weight is going to go up. But scientifically, you're speeding your BMR, so you're going to burn way more calories.
Fantastic. Vera, kienet interessanti Faye. Vera, nishtiq idħlu fil-page taħħa li xi ħaġa oħra li tolqotkom. Żgur ħadkun l-ikel li tippreżenta b'mod faċli, riċetti differenti, imma vera ħadd biċir nisimak għax vera femt b'det tal-tajjeb.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Ikon okkazjoni nerġgħu niltaqgħu aħna anke during training.
A workout is
Thank you so much. Aħna wasalna fit-tmiem ta' podcast ieħor, naħseb li żgur sibtu xi affarijiet li ħassibu utli anke jekk intom tixtieq tibdew din il-journey għal ħajja aktar b'saħħitha, għal ħajja aħjar, tħossukom aħjar mentalment, fiżikament, dejjem segwu dan il-podcast Reboot fuq is-social media channels tagħna u jekk tistgħu jekk tafu xi ħadd li ħajjieħu pjaċir jisma' podcast bħal dan aqsmuh magħhom. Grazzi ħafna u niltaqgħu podcast ieħor.